Welcome back to the Pound for Pound Box channel. Let's talk some boxing. We will be interviewing a very special guest today, fighting straight out of Sacramento, up-and-coming rising star Lorenzo Powell. Lorenzo has won 72 out of 84 amateur fights and has even been ranked #1 in the USA Nationals. This Saturday, he will be having his second professional fight in the Stockton ballpark under the Gabe Flores undercard. Tell us, Lorenzo, how are you feeling for this fight, and how's training camp been treating you?
Man, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling outstanding. Training camp has been amazing. Me and Coach been putting in we've been putting in 2 or 3 days since day one. You know, so I tell everybody, it's kind of hard for fighters to catch up because I've been doing it for a little over 10 years. But with the hours that we put in daily, it's like I'm really like 28 to 30 years in.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So, and that's with every camp, you know, we just only get stronger. We only get better every camp. We push even more. So camp's been amazing. Sparring was amazing. Every round of every sparring session. So yeah, this camp's definitely been fire, and we're definitely ready to come tomorrow night.
You had your very first professional win against Jose Alvarado, beating him in a unanimous decision win. Tell us, how did you feel in there, being that it was your first professional fight, and how did you feel the electrifying Stockton crowd?
I definitely felt amazing in there. The crowd, oh my God, I wouldn't say overwhelming. It was like over satisfying. Like the fans out here is amazing. They come out. They don't only show like love to their favorite fighters. They definitely come from the start to the finish. So I definitely want to give a big shout out to the supporters. But yeah, a lot of energy. Me and Coach definitely felt great. I made a lot of supporters that day. I don't call people fans. We're all equal. So I definitely made a lot of supporters that day, and I continue to look to make supporters. But yeah, our performance was great. We fought a tough opponent, real tough opponent. But I stuck to the game plan. I pulled out tools out my arsenal. I listened to Coach. You know, I was able to box. I was able to bring the dog out. So I overcame adversity. You know, like I said, it was a tough opponent, but we got through that. Now that's in the past. Now come tomorrow, be expecting another great performance.
And that leads me to my next question. We know Gabe Flores is also main eventing the card. He's representing Stockton. You're representing Sacramento. What should we look forward to this Saturday at the Stockton ballpark?
Like I said, coming this Saturday, which is tomorrow night, look for a spectacular performance from not only me and Gabriel Flores Jr., but from every other fighter that's on the card. They also been putting in the work, and I'm not very familiar with every other fighter, but I know if you made it to this point, you've been putting in the work, you've been grinding, you've been made sacrifices. You know, Gabriel Flores Jr. and his dad, Gabriel Flores Sr., only recognize his talent, and they're not going to take and put somebody on the card who doesn't deserve it. So like I said, if you can come out, be looking for spectacular performances from everybody, myself especially.
And we know it's going to be some type of festival, right? Like for the kids, and there's going to be some rides and some car shows. Is what I heard at least.
Yeah, for sure. So I think in the morning they're doing activities in the morning, and then they're going to follow it up like with a car show, which would be
nice.
Is that, around like 3, like 10 to 3. It'll be the car show. And then after all the fights, they're gonna wrap it up with fireworks. So it's a lot of different things.
Back to the community.
It's not just an adult. It's not just an adult event. You can definitely bring your kids out. I'm sure it'll be jumpers and every other thing there for the kids to do. So definitely come out and bring the kids with you.
And let me ask, what would you say is the hardest part about transitioning from a decorated amateur to a professional fighter?
It really isn't a hard part. You know, me and Coach take our job very. We treat this job with passion. We take it very seriously. So I wouldn't say it was really a hard part. The only thing that was like a big transition was being tunnel vision, like focusing more. You know, the amateurs, you're able to have fun a little more, goof off, which we never really goofed off, but you're able to get away with a lot more stuff. In the pros, it's like you got to lock in. You got smaller gloves. You got people or fighters wanting to come with more mean intentions, so you definitely got to lock in and be laser focused. I would say that's the only big transition, but it wasn't a hard transition because, like I said, from day one, me and Coach always been laser focused, and we always took this and been passionate about it.
You stay ready to not have to get ready, it seems
right.
like. So you do spend a lot of your time sparring and training down in LA at the Wildcard Gym with Freddie Roach. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So what me and Coach do, it's actually crazy. We spar in LA, and it's not always at Freddie Roach's gym. Sometimes at Manny Robles, other Showtime Boxing, a lot of great gyms there. And there's some gyms down there that we still haven't been able to go to. But we will be going to very recent. But what we do is our sparring days are Monday and Fridays. We only spar in LA or in Vegas. We don't really spar in SAC because we just go the extra mile, and that's what got me here to this day. Which of course Coach got me here too, but from us just making those trips. But the sparring is great. What we do is we leave at 2 a.m. We leave from SAC at 2 a.m.
Man.
It's like a 6-hour drive, sometimes 5.5, sometimes 6 hours. So we pull in about 8. So we already 6 hours in the trip. And then we're at the gym for about 6 hours sparring, and we're training. We go through the whole process, not just sparring and then leave down there. We spar, we train, we treat it just like how we would train or spar if we was back in SAC. So then we're there for another 6 hours. So now we're at the 12-hour mark. And then on the drive back, it's another 6 hours. So altogether, it's an 18-hour road trip.
What would you say is your motivation? What's your dedication? What's the reason you get up every day and do it?
Just how serious I am about it, and coach, that's also one of my number one motivation. You know, it's my family as well, but it's definitely coach, because it's not just like a coach. I say this all the time. It's not just like a coach to a fighter or a fighter to a coach. We're like father and son, son to father. Like we are the dynamic duo. We always have each other back. You know, and I'm not saying other coaches doesn't have their fighters back, but you could just look at us and you can see the chemistry. It's like second to none. It's hard to compare, and you could take any other fighter and trainer out there. It's definitely hard to compare it to.
You know, it's well known you've sparred a lot of big name fighters. Can you mention some of the fighters you've shared the ring with?
Yeah, a lot of great fighters. Gabriel Flores Jr., Victor Postol. I was in camp with Virgil Ortiz. I sparred Shakur Stevenson back when I was a little younger at the Olympic Training Center.
Man.
Who else? The list goes on.
Devin Haney.
Elvis Rodriguez, Devin Haney. I got to share the ring with him. A lot, and the list goes on. I can't think of all of them off the top, but a lot of great, phenomenal fighters.
And obviously, you're not going to say what happened in sparring because that's the golden rule of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
But which fighter would you say gave you the best work and you got a lot of experience from?
I think they all gave me great work. I wouldn't put one above the other or another one above the other. They all gave me great work. I picked up tricks off of them. I'm pretty sure they picked up little things off of me. A lot of them told me, I knew I had to bring my A game because, you know, everybody always told me, you had a pro style. The way coach trained you was a pro style. And they've been saying that since the amateurs. You know, some of the losses that I had, it wasn't really losses because, you know, in the amateurs, they look for the pity pat. But, I mean, all my losses are close fights. But, yeah, I would say they all definitely pushed me, and I pushed them too. So I wouldn't put one above the other. They all were great work.
And we know you are fighting in a very stacked division at 135. Where you have a lot of prospects coming up like Abdullah Mason and Emiliano Vargas. Do you ever envision yourself fighting with one of them one day? And who would eventually you want to make a big fight with in the future?
For sure, yeah. You know, I've been fighting at 132 since 2017, so it's pretty much time to move up. Still have a lot of discipline, but I'm just growing. My body's getting bigger. I would definitely love to make a big fight with all of the best names. I want the best names, of course, as the time comes.
140 stacked as well.
Yeah, 140 is also stacked. I think I'll be sitting at 35 for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 140 within the next maybe 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, but I'll be at 35 for a while. But yeah, I want all the great names.
Lorenzo, how does this fight end Saturday night?
You know, I'm definitely going to get the victory, but I'm not going in looking for a knockout. I'm going in listening to my corner, listening to Marty Chima, my coach. And the win's going to come with me just listening to the game plan. If the knockout does come, which I think it will, then that's how it will end. But that's not what I'm going in to look for.
Let me ask, man, how did you get the Golden One name?
Coach actually gave me that because I used to call myself Money Man, and then I was younger, and then me and Coach was like, you know what? It's not really something that's like it sounds really professional. So Coach came up with the Golden One name, and I was like, okay, I like that.
It's for sure clean.
So
then it makes you stand out.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. So then I kind of had like a slang with it still because I call myself that Golden One, but I spelled it D-A-T. So it's like, it's time to get a little more professional. We're on the next level. So now I go by IM_Golden One.
Nice. And last but not least, we are the Pound for Pound Boxing channel for a reason. Give us your top 5 current pound for pound fighters.
I would say Terrence Crawford, number 1. I'm gonna put, a lot of people might hate me for this, but I'm gonna put Shakur at number 2. I'm gonna put him at number 2.
Any reason?
The reason is just because of all the hate he gets. The objective of the game, and I heard Terrence Crawford saying this the other day, the objective is to hit and not get hit, and it's boxing. What do you hear all the fans say? I want to see a fight. I want to see a fight. It's easy to say that if you're not in the ring. You're not. Every time any of the fighters step in the ring, they're sacrificing. You know, all it takes is one punch to get hurt, especially a devastating punch. But all the hate he's getting, it's like, why didn't Floyd get that hate? He fought basically the same way. You know, especially after he was breaking his hands, and everybody loved him for it. Yeah, everybody wanted to see him lose, but they knew the objective of the game. I want defense like Floyd Mayweather. So now Shakur's basically fighting the same way, and he's getting hate for it. I will put him as number 2. I'll throw Canelo in there as number 3. I'll put him in there. The last 2.
It starts getting hard.
Let me think about this. Hold on, let me think about this. Who would I put 4 and 5? I'm put Usyk number 5. I'll put him number 5.
That's a good one.
I'll put him number 5. Number 4. Who would I go with?
There's
No.
Javante
Actually,
Davis.
who did I put number 3?
You said that was Canelo.
Okay, I'll keep him number 3. I'll switch number 2. I'll put Shakur as number 4.
Okay.
I'll put Tank as number 2. There we go.
So Terrence Crawford, Javante Davis, Canelo, Shakur Stevenson, Usyk.
Yeah.
Nice,
My
not a
top
bad
five.
list, man.
Yeah,
A lot
my
of
top five.
people sometimes, say some names, and a lot of fans end up commenting, "Hey, who's this guy talking about?" But
Yeah.
that was a pretty good list.
And it's, I mean, nobody's wrong. It's
No, it's all
a very
subjective.
opinionated question. Everybody has their opinion. Everybody has the fighters that they like or that they love. So that would be my top 5. And I'm pretty sure I might switch around here and there. I'm probably missing a couple of fighters I didn't think of.
One person you forgot to put.
Who?
Yourself, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I
was gonna do that, but I didn't.
It's all good,
but I
man.
definitely will put myself number 1. I see myself as the greatest fighter in the world. That's my mentality. Is one of my strongest things. That's one of my strongest aspects. But I feel like I haven't did nothing yet. I had one pro fight. Yeah, I look good in it. I'm making my second pro fight tomorrow. So to kind of put myself in the top 5 pound for pound, I feel like I haven't did enough yet to do.
It's the mentality.
But yeah, it's definitely the mentality in my head. Oh yeah, I'm number 1. Can nobody stop me?
Thank you very much, Lorenzo. Where can fans reach you and follow you?
So you can reach me on Instagram at IM_Golden1. Also, you can find Coach on Instagram at box_King. You can find us on there, and then once you find us on there, you will find our Facebook and all that. But we're mainly on Instagram. So like I said, you can find me on Instagram at IM_Golden1.
Much luck Saturday, Lorenzo. This is Eric with the Pound for Pound Boxing channel, and thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yeah.